Optimus Prime, beloved leader of the Autobots. He's also a great standard character in Transformers Tactical Arena, as he has some great strengths, but he also has some big weaknesses. This strategy guide aims to show you how to take advantage of those strengths while minimizing the weaknesses. But first, let's start at the beginning.
Welcome to Transformers Tactical Arena. Commander, let us initiate your training protocol.
Optimus Prime is a starting card. He's unlocked through the game's tutorial. That is a welcomed decision from Regames Co. The developers don't make you jump through hoops to unlock the most popular Transformer. You get Optimus Prime right away. That's why this guide is so important. It's also why it's the first guide in this series.
Let's get back into the battle.
If you want to play well in Transformers Tactical Arena, it's critical to understand how Prime works, even if he's not on your team. It's because Optimus Prime has two modes, Robot Mode and Truck Mode.
This is a legendary card. These cards can be played two different ways.
He's a legendary card. That means the card can be flipped before the unit is placed into the arena. You get to decide if you want to place Optimus Prime into the battle as a bot or as a truck. This is where it's important to understand Prime's stats and Energon costs. If you place him as a robot, he costs 4 Energon. If you place him as a truck, he costs 6 Energon. That's a big difference. So, what do you get for that power expenditure? Well, Optimus Prime is pretty hardy. At level 8, he has nearly 1600 health, which is excellent for his bot mode, but not so great in truck mode. It's important to understand the health to Energon ratio. The key to success in this game is efficiency, to do the most damage for the least amount of energy, while putting up a formidable defense. So, the big question for Optimus Prime is if you want to specifically target turrets. That's what the truck charge is about. Prime will ignore other enemies and drive straight towards the nearest structure. This does over 300 damage at level 8, and that damage is doubled if Prime can get to his top speed.
Destroy enemy turrets to win the battle.
Since the main objective is to destroy the main and secondary turrets, that seems like a great attack. Except the truck charge is one of the most easily countered attacks in the game. Seriously, there are so many ways to counter this attack that Optimus Prime has his own dedicated FACEPALM emote. The most obvious is to use the Decoy. That one Energon unit can distract and stop Prime's truck charge. Yet Prime will instantly destroy the Decoy and then advance towards the towers.
Roll out!
A fusion beam turret in a one-on-one battle can totally stop Optimus Prime, regardless if he's in bot or alt mode. But with the latter, the fusion beam turret is more efficient. That 5 Energon card can completely stop Prime as a 6 Energon card, and the fusion beam turret can still have enough fight left to stay in the battle. Proximity Minefield is another way to totally destroy Optimus Prime. That also costs 5 energy, which is an efficient way to stop Prime. However, if you want to get creative, you can save even more energy with a combination of Minion Horde and Repulse Wave. First, use the Minion Horde to damage Prime. It won't be enough to stop him, but using the Repulse Wave to knock back Prime gives the Horde a second chance to attack. That's only 4 Energon to stop a 6 Energon attack. Plus, the Minion Horde is completely undamaged. An alternative is to use Stun. While slightly more expensive, this stops Prime long enough for the Minion Horde to win. Here's where you can get into advanced strategy. If you see that your opponent is using the Minion Horde to counter Optimus Prime, you can protect him with stun. That can instantly destroy the Minion Horde. Now, Optimus Prime is free to smash right into the turret. That's how you correctly play Optimus Prime in truck mode. You're not just tossing him into the fray and hoping for the best. Instead, you're looking for, or are trying to make, opportunities. The best opportunity to use Prime is against players that play risky. Since Prime is a beginner character, the players learn how to counter him right away. This causes Prime to be played less, which causes players to become overconfident. They forget or neglect to protect against Prime's truck charge. If you see a player like that, you can wreck them with numerous truck charges. It is a rarity, but an excellent feeling when you spot it. That's why it's so important to understand how Optimus Prime works. Even if you're not playing that card, if your opponent is using Prime and you have no defense to stop him, that could lead to a decisive defeat. The artificial intelligence knows this and is quite ruthless about stopping Optimus Prime, especially at the high levels. A minion portal will appear seemingly out of nowhere to stop Prime. This is where the game gets cerebral. If you're effective enough at stopping Prime's truck charge, especially early in the match, you can subconsciously block the attack. Your opponent will feel so defeated wasting 6 Energon that they might forget about the potential of the attack. The Scorponok is a great way to demoralize your opponent, as Scorponok can actually catch the truck. It's one of the most insane counters in the game. The trick is to have Scorponok grab Prime in a location where your turrets or other allies can shoot at Prime while he's grabbed. 8 versus 6 is a more expensive counter, but you've just done serious damage to the confidence of your opponent. In melee mode, Prime has enough health to outlast the claw attack, but he won't last much longer against Scorponok. Actually, in 1 vs 1 battles, Prime loses a lot. As an example, against Megatron, Prime loses. Just like the cartoon movie. But this is without Hot Rod screwing things up. That's why it's nice to see Prime chop down Hot Rod in a 1 vs 1 fight. Prime is primarily for crowd control, swinging his axe through multiple enemies. But he's also a decent tank when he has support. That's why I like to back up Prime with Sunstreaker. They're both slow walkers, so they can stay together. But Prime is totally vulnerable to air attacks, as Prime can only hit ground targets. That's regardless of which transformation is used. This is where you can think ahead. If you place Optimus Prime on the battlefield as a bot, your opponent could likely try countering that with an air attack. Sunstreaker is awesome at anti-air attacks. Normally, I like to lead with Grimlock or Megatron as my main tank character, especially since Megatron can literally transform into a tank. But in the very early stages of the game, you might not have either of those 2 cards, or a 12 Energon attack might be too risky. This makes Optimus Prime a more affordable way to protect your long-ranged attackers. Now, if you grew up with the original G1 cartoons, or perhaps you were impressed with the Michael Bay films, you might picture Prime as this invincible superhero. He can certainly save the day, but in general, he's not the best for taking out turrets. Seriously, check this out. It takes 10 seconds just for him to walk to the tower. That's unobstructed, with no enemies in the way. And while his 3-hit combo is mighty, there are much better ways to damage a turret. That's why I like to think of Prime as the distraction, while the other cards can do massive damage. As an example, if the turret is locked onto Prime, that could be a fine opportunity to send in Starscream or the Drop Squad. Also, if you don't mind cheap and unfulfilling wins, Prime could be used to protect Moonracer while she chips away at the tower. It's so boring. Moonracer is also good cover for Optimus Prime as she can take out air units, but unfortunately, she does this so slowly. Prime could be seriously damaged or even killed before the hostiles are taken out by Moonracer. That's why you might be tempted to use Ratchet or Healing Burst to keep Prime alive. Personally, I prefer to place another offensive card rather than use healing. The way I figure it, if the enemy is dead, then they can't hurt you, which reduces the need for healing. Additionally, since Prime and Ratchet are both ground-based units, so close together, that makes them a prime target for an aerial attack, specifically Orbital Strike. While Optimus Prime can survive such an attack, he will be badly damaged. As for his friend, he will be destroyed. Optimus Prime is great for stopping weaker enemies, as his axe can chop right through the Minion Horde. Be careful where you place Prime though, as his health will fail quickly if he's surrounded. Placement is critical. Prime can do a lot more damage or die quickly, depending where he's placed. A perfect example of this is with the truck charge. If you are trying to ram the turrets, and one has already been destroyed, then you have an alternate driving route to the next turret. By placing Prime along the edge of the red border, he will drive forward, but then turn towards the other secondary turret. If that's what you want to do, then that's great. It's a shorter distance, so you might catch your opponent by surprise. You might not want to place him too close to the main turret though. That's another reason why I don't prefer Prime as my main tank character. You don't actually have to destroy all three turrets. If the main turret is destroyed, the remaining secondary turrets are also destroyed. So, if you're using Prime to go for a quick 3-turret win, he's going to walk into melee distance, which puts him in range of both turrets. While Prime has lots of health, he can't sustain that kind of punishment for long.
Fight! This is your final trial. Win this battle to complete your trading.
But if you already have the main turret surrounded, sending in Prime in truck mode can speed up the win. That's how to use Optimus Prime. Hopefully this strategy guide helps you out. See the Transformers Tactical Arena playlist on Photics TV for other helpful information. Thanks for watching.
Victory.